Great, you know, they were already a great team. So when you had a player like Porzingis and Holiday, you're adding to a team that's already very talented, and so that'll be the next challenge for us. But I feel like the East is loaded, and the obvious is when you look at a Boston and then you look at what Milwaukee did. But if you're not paying attention to all the other teams of what they've added, you're overlooking people, and you can't do that. I think you're underestimating people in this league, and particularly there's a lot of subtlety to the way people were added. Everyone talks about Miami. Well, you know, Miami gets Hero back. You know, they get Josh Richardson. People are overlooking that, so they're loaded. You know, and so you go down the list.
Were you guys at all ever? I mean, obviously Boston traded for 2 years. Were you guys at all ever close to making a move this summer?
That would be a Leon question.
Okay.
No, you know, and that you're always looking, and that's, you know, the Leon and his staff are, you know, if something makes sense where you can make the team better, you're going to do it. We like our team a lot. You know, we're young, we're going to get better. But if an opportunity comes along that makes sense, then, you know, we'll take a good hard look at it.
Which heart did you say though? You said heart is though?
Josh.
Okay.
Josh.
Preseason back-to-backs.
Yeah, well, you know, you take what's in front of you. You know, so the advantage is most teams, if you're in that situation, you're probably going to play your starters, one of the two. So it's an opportunity to maybe get a deeper look at your bench guys. And it also gives you, the one benefit is you have more practice time. So my thing is to be mentally tough, whatever you're facing, whether it's a back-to-back and then maximize whatever you can from the situation that you're in and turn it into a positive, and that's what we're trying to do.
Coach, when you look at last year, I'm sure it was an exhaustive evaluation. Is there one aspect of play in particular that you'd like to see improved?
Yeah, and I think, you know, when you dig into a season, you always start with, you know, okay, let's look at the things we did well, the things we didn't do as well as we would like, and then try to make the improvements in the plans for the next season all summer. But then when you get to the next season, you're starting from zero all over again. So you can't assume that you're going to pick up right where you left off. You can't skip over any of that. So it's long, tedious. You go through preseason training camp, and you've got to build your base both on offense and defense with your fundamentals. So you got to start all over. You don't skip and start at the playoffs. You got to earn the right to be there in the end. So each and every day is important. So it could be a Tuesday night in February, and that game is as important as any game in the season. So we got to develop the habit of preparing each and every day the right way, and that's the first thing that you got to get right. So I think the big thing for us, particularly when we're young, is to develop consistency. So you want to be able to count on what you're doing each and every night. And we know if our defense and our rebounding and keeping turnovers down, we'll be in position to win regardless of how we shoot the ball.
Quickly, last spring, Cleveland series, you guys went to way more guard screening than you're going to on average in the regular season. Is that something that you like in retrospect? Do you think that works so well, particularly because of that matchup? Do you think there's something?
No, it was part of what we did. You know, you look at your opponents and how they defend, and so if a team is switching, you can attack a switch that way. You can get the switch that way. So that's part of your overall scheme. I think. You know, and people and obviously we want to play fast, and I think that's important to establish a pace, but you have to be good at every aspect of offense. So it's not just pace, it's execution in the half court, it's special situations, it's all of those things.
Coach, when you say you start a season kind of at ground zero year after year, does ground zero feel a little different this year when you have the continuity that you have with the guys who are back?
Yeah, only if you approach it the right way, and that's the important thing, is to make sure that you're putting the work into each and every day. See, if you take shortcuts, it'll be reflected in performance. So the young guys, we want them to come in and bring energy. The older guy, it doesn't matter whether it's your first year, your fifth year, your 15th year, you can't skip over any steps. And so, and that's the challenge for the veterans, is not to get bored with the process, to put the work into it. And that's where the young guys come in. We always say, the young guys, you gotta bring energy to the group. And then the older guys, you gotta help teach the younger guys the tricks of the trade. So you got both groups working together.
How much of an advantage is it to have Jalen being in his second season versus your point guard starting out in his first year?
Well, I think the voice is gonna be bigger, because it's hard to come in when you're trying to learn your teammates, you're learning a new system, so you're not quite sure, but the best leadership you could have is what you do each and every day. So I always say your actions will reflect your priorities, and that's the best example that you can have, is what a guy actually does each and every. Is he doing the right things? And is he prioritizing the team?
Quickly jump in defense last season. He talked a lot about gaining strength. How much did that help him, and how much does that help him?
Good. I think it's overall, like, the thing to me is his ability to think on his feet. He's gotten stronger, but I think he's a student of the game. That's probably the biggest asset, that is knowing your opponent. Like, knowing the tendencies of players, knowing the tendencies of the teams, and that's what I think makes him so effective defensively.
What, do you guys want to go into the regular season with 14, 15? Do you have any idea on that?
Not stuck on it. I think I mentioned this on Saturday. We have a number of guys that are fighting it out for those spots at the end, and they're all worthy. They've been here a long time. They're working extremely hard, and they've done a good job. So we'll see how it unfolds, and we'll be looking at a lot of other things as well, whether it's people that get released because they're guaranteed contracts and their teams are over. So whatever we feel can help the team the most, that's what we're going to do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks. Yep, thanks.